At exactly 6 a.m. on November 28, 2024, the quiet suburb of Mount Waverly was jolted awake by the sound of doors being broken down and tactical commands echoing through the air. What police found inside one home would reveal the full extent of the Comancheros' criminal empire. Behind the appearance of a typical middle-class residence was a disturbing scene: firearms, drugs, and large sums of cash, laying bare an operation that was far beyond the reach of conventional law enforcement. This wasn't just another drug bust. It was the culmination of a 3-year investigation and the unraveling of the inner workings of Australia's most dangerous outlaw motorcycle gang. What began as routine firearms compliance checks soon uncovered an arsenal of weapons, cash hidden in backyards, and a cannabis production operation that spanned multiple states. The Comanchero Motorcycle Club had grown into a name that inspired fear across both Australia and New Zealand. Founded in the 1960s by William George Jock Ross, who declared himself Supreme Commander, the group evolved from a small collective of motorcycle enthusiasts into a violent and secretive international criminal network. The club's motto, scrawled across clubhouse walls, left no room for doubt. If it's white, sniff it. If it's female or it moves and it narcs, kill it. That chilling ideology has echoed throughout Australia's underworld for decades. In 1984, the infamous Milpera massacre marked a bloody turning point, leaving 7 dead, 4 Comancheros, 2 bandidos, and a 14-year-old bystander caught in the crossfire. By late 2024, the gang had established chapters in every major Australian city and had expanded into New Zealand, embedding itself in legitimate businesses, corrupting officials, and operating a criminal enterprise valued in the hundreds of millions. The Comancheros functioned like a corporation, complete with presidents, vice presidents, sergeants at arms, and recruits known as prospects, each with clearly defined roles and revenue targets. Detective Superintendent Greg Williams described the group as Australia's most dangerous criminal gang, noting not only their brutality, but also their remarkable ability to hide in plain sight. They operated from quiet neighborhoods, blending into communities where children played and families barbecued, camouflaged and more dangerous because of it. Pasilika Naufahu, president of the New Zealand chapter, had been deported from Australia in 2016 under the controversial 501 immigration policy. His return to New Zealand ushered in a new, more violent era. Despite being sentenced to 10 years for crimes including conspiracy to distribute drugs and money laundering, his grip on the gang remained strong. The parole board repeatedly denied early release, citing his high risk to public safety. By 2024, almost every Comanchero member was under investigation or facing criminal charges. Yet the gang's ability to recruit vulnerable young men, often from broken homes, kept their numbers and influence growing. They offered a sense of brotherhood, fast money, expensive bikes, and street credibility. But entry into the gang meant a lifetime commitment that often ended in prison. Or worse. The operation that would bring all of this to light began 3 years earlier in New Zealand under the name Operation Scuba. Initially a money laundering case, the investigation quickly revealed a much broader network. Detective Inspector Darren Thompson and his team found that the gang was moving an estimated $15 million worth of drugs between Auckland and Christchurch every few weeks. This required logistics on a scale unseen in prior investigations. Couriers, safe houses, and corrupt officials all played a role. Investigators also uncovered a systematic taxation model within the gang called the Commission. Every kilogram of methamphetamine sold meant a $5,000 payment to the organization, which was used to fund expansion. The Comancheros kept detailed financial records, operating with the precision of a professional business. Further, The gang had recruited what authorities dubbed professional facilitators, lawyers, accountants, and business owners who helped launder money and keep operations running. This level of structure and sophistication was unprecedented in Australian organized crime. A breakthrough came in September 2024 when New Zealand police executed Operation AAN, arresting all 18 members of the Christchurch chapter. They were charged with drug distribution, weapons offenses, and participation in a criminal organization. Seized during the raids were 26 kilograms of methamphetamine, 1.76 kilograms of cocaine, 2.6 kilograms of cannabis, and 15 firearms, including 2 sawed-off shotguns. More concerning still, police alleged the gang had used commission money to fund military-style training. 15 Comancheros reportedly received intensive combat instruction from a professional trainer flown in specifically for that purpose. This training marked a dangerous evolution. The gang was no longer just violent, it was organized, disciplined, and capable of paramilitary operations. Meanwhile, in Australia, National Task Force Morpheus had been preparing for the most extensive anti-Comanchero action in history. Established in 2014, the task force brought together federal, state, and international agencies. Its mission was not merely to arrest individuals, but to dismantle the gang's entire criminal ecosystem. Surveillance and intelligence painted a grim picture. The Comancheros were smuggling weapons, manufacturing drugs, laundering money through legitimate businesses, and bribing officials. The level of corruption was staggering. Court staff received gifts with strings attached, police officers found unexplained deposits in their accounts, and prison guards who refused to cooperate faced threats to their families. By November 2024, authorities had identified key players and mapped their operations across Victoria, Queensland, New South Wales, and New Zealand. A coordinated simultaneous strike was essential to prevent the gang from relocating. November 28, 2024 was designated as the National Day of Action against the Comancheros. At precisely 6 a.m., tactical teams launched synchronized raids across 7 locations in Victoria. Mount Waverley became the focal point. The suburban home that seemed so unremarkable had been under surveillance for weeks. Its occupant, a 32-year-old gang member, was arrested as officers found commercial quantities of methamphetamine, ketamine, cannabis, cocaine, over 150 Xanax pills, and sophisticated drug manufacturing equipment. Raids continued across Burwood, Craigieburn, Fraser Rise, Hillside, Corio, and Tarnett, revealing further layers of the gang's operations. In Craigieburn, a man was arrested after an imitation assault rifle, indistinguishable from a real military weapon, was found on the property. Simultaneously, the Viper Task Force targeted tobacco stores throughout Victoria. These operations revealed the gang's significant involvement in the illicit tobacco trade, a major source of income for criminal organizations. By importing and taxed cigarettes using drug smuggling routes, they were able to sell illegal tobacco at massive profits, while undercutting legal markets. Authorities searched 12 stores with confirmed links to the Comancheros and seized approximately 500,000 illicit cigarettes worth $500,000 and identified an estimated $1.36 million in lost excise revenue. 1 ton of loose tobacco was seized, representing more than $216,000 in retail value and $2.72 million in lost government revenue. Authorities also confiscated over 2,000 illegal vapes, with a street value exceeding $120,000. These seizures uncovered yet another layer of the Comancheros' business model. This wasn't just a gang selling to consumers. They were wholesalers, supplying other criminal networks and corrupt retailers across multiple states. Many of the tobacco retailers appeared legitimate on the surface, but had been gradually infiltrated by the gang. Store owners were offered deals too good to refuse, cheap tobacco products with high profit margins. By the time they realized they were complicit in criminal activity, it was too late to back out. As the raids continued through the morning, the true extent of the Comancheros' wealth and organization became clear. This was not simply a motorcycle gang funding a lifestyle of excess. It was a highly sophisticated criminal enterprise generating massive profits. At the Mount Waverly property, investigators found more than $100,000 in cash hidden throughout the house, in appliances, under drawers, and inside false bottom containers, suggesting a well-practiced money laundering operation. What truly stood out, however, was the discovery of $70,000 in investment-grade gold bullion. The presence of these gold bars indicated a strategic move by the gang to convert drug profits into easily portable and globally tradable assets. The weapons findings were equally disturbing. Although only one complete firearm was seized in Victoria, police discovered large quantities of ammunition, firearm parts, and evidence pointing to an extensive weapons trafficking network. In Queensland, the picture grew even more alarming. Specialist police units carried out 33 search warrants across the state, uncovering multiple firearms and significant amounts of ammunition. 2 high-ranking Comanchero members were arrested and charged with offenses including extortion and drug trafficking. One alleged member was charged with both extortion and drug offenses, while an associate was charged with trafficking alone. In New South Wales, police joined their interstate counterparts with help from the Raptor Squad, the Public Order and Riot Squad, and the Southwest Metropolitan Operational Support Group. The NS raids focused on both drug distribution and the illegal tobacco trade. In Wye Park, officers discovered roughly $100,000 in cash buried in a backyard garden. The 57-year-old homeowner was charged with dealing in the proceeds of crime. 7 tobacconist stores were also inspected across New South Wales, revealing illicit tobacco and vape products valued at over $1 million, alongside $323,645 in hidden cash. Investigators also found cloned number plates and sophisticated electronics, indicating that the gang was likely involved in vehicle theft and identity fraud operations. The cannabis side of the operation revealed yet another major pillar of the gang's criminal structure. This wasn't small-scale personal use. It was large-scale commercial cultivation and industrial-level distribution. At Mount Waverly, police uncovered a sophisticated grow house outfitted with hydroponic systems, professional lighting, and climate control technology designed to produce multiple harvests each year. The technology used was advanced LED lighting to maximize growth while minimizing energy use, automated watering systems that delivered precise nutrients, and air filtration systems to mask odors. It was a clear sign of significant investment and operational knowledge. Intelligence suggested this property was one of many such facilities scattered across Victoria, operated with help from legitimate businesses acting as fronts, garden centers, electrical contractors, and plumbing companies among them. Distribution channels extended across state lines. The operation functioned with compartmentalized cells. One group grew the product, another transported it, and another handled street-level distribution. Even the cannabis itself was categorized into premium and standard grades, sold to different market segments. In New Zealand, earlier operations had already exposed similar systems. The 2.6 kilograms of cannabis seized there were just a small fraction of their total production. What concerned investigators most was the level of integration between the cannabis network and other gang activities. Profits from cannabis-funded weapons purchases, while drug couriers were used to transport both narcotics and firearms. The Comancheros had even recruited professionals from legitimate industries to run these operations. Former commercial growers, electrical engineers, and security specialists. Security at grow houses was tight. Surveillance cameras, motion sensors, and even reinforced entry points meant to delay police long enough to destroy evidence. Across all jurisdictions, the cannabis seizures painted a picture of a gang that had evolved beyond typical motorcycle crime. They were operating like a corporate enterprise, with supply chains, quality control, distribution networks, and even market segmentation. The aftermath. When the dust settled on November 28, 2024, the results were staggering. Nationwide, 33 individuals were arrested and charged with a total of 78 offenses. Authorities seized weapons, ammunition, large amounts of cash, gold bullion, and enough drugs to supply entire cities. In Victoria alone, police recovered nearly 1 ton of illicit tobacco, over $100,000 in cash, $70,000 in gold bullion, multiple types of illicit drugs, and complex drug manufacturing equipment. The estimated value of seized assets exceeded $1.5 million, but the true significance of the operation extended beyond monetary value. For the first time in years, the Comancheros' operations had been seriously disrupted across multiple states and regions. Detective Superintendent Troy Pucalis emphasized the point, stating the operation sent a clear message. The Comancheros are engaged in highly organized criminal activity that undermines the rule of law and economic stability. We will continue to apply pressure using a variety of policing methods to stamp out membership and dismantle their operations. The arrested members now faced serious charges ranging from drug trafficking and weapons offenses to money laundering. The vast amount of evidence would serve as a roadmap for further prosecutions over the coming months. Detective Superintendent Jason Box highlighted the importance of collaboration in the operation's success. By working together, we send a powerful message. We will continue to dismantle and suppress organized crime, regardless of its complexity or scope. The November 28th raids marked the culmination of years of painstaking investigation and international cooperation. It also served as a warning to other organized crime groups. Jurisdictional boundaries no longer offered protection. Authorities acknowledged the fight wasn't over. The Comancheros had shown resilience in the past, adapting quickly, replacing arrested members, and adjusting tactics. Their deep recruitment networks and international links meant a complete dismantling would take sustained long-term pressure. Still, the November raids represented a major victory. As the arrested Comancheros began appearing in court, their empire, built on drugs, intimidation, and underground finance, was collapsing. Former safe houses became crime scenes. Assets were frozen and communications were being intercepted. But law enforcement knew this wasn't the end. Rival gangs were watching closely, ready to exploit the power vacuum left behind. The fight against organized crime is ongoing, a constant evolution of tactics, players, and technology in a battle between criminals and the law. The weapons, cash, and cannabis seized on that day told a powerful story, not just of greed and violence, but of persistence, justice, and the quiet determination of those who work behind the scenes to bring organized crime to its knees.